There's a moment every trader feels, that quiet anticipation before pulling the trigger on a trade. The market is alive, pulsing, teasing you with motion and noise. But most don't realize that this is where the battle begins, not with the market, but with yourself. The temptation to act before the time is right has destroyed more accounts than bad analysis ever did. The perfect entry point isn't about prediction, it's about confirmation. It's about timing, discipline, and the ability to wait until the market shows its hand. I learned this truth through pain. My first trades weren't guided by patience, they were driven by excitement. I'd see a price moving fast and feel like I'd miss the opportunity if I didn't jump in immediately. That's the disease of every new trader, the fear of missing out. The market knows it and uses it against you. It lures you in with false moves, shallow pullbacks, and manufactured strength. You think you've caught the beginning of a trend, but you've only grabbed its tail end. A trader's ruin begins not in losses, but in impatience. The real professionals don't chase. They watch, they wait, they let the market confirm what they already suspect. The perfect entry point isn't found by guessing where the price will go. It's confirmed when the market shows where it refuses to go back. That difference between guessing and confirmation is what separates amateurs from masters. When you study a market, you must learn its behavior the way a hunter studies his prey. You observe its rhythm. You watch how it reacts at certain levels, whether it hesitates, whether it surges, whether it breaks down. You're not predicting what it will do. You're learning its language. The perfect entry comes when the market's actions confirm the story you've been watching unfold. Let me tell you about one of the greatest lessons I ever learned about entries. It wasn't from a winning trade, it was from a loss. I once entered a position because every indicator pointed in my favor. The news supported it. The volume confirmed it. But the price itself, the only truth in the market, hesitated. It didn't move with conviction. I ignored it. I thought I knew better. Within hours, the move reversed against me. I exited with a loss, but the real damage was psychological. I had violated my own rule: never argue with the tape. You can't impose your will on the market. You can only align with it. The perfect entry point is a moment of alignment when your analysis, your conviction, and the market's confirmation meet at a single point. Anything less than that is speculation in its most dangerous form. Here's what most traders get wrong. They believe that identifying an entry means finding the lowest price before a rise or the highest price before a fall. That's nonsense. You'll never buy the bottom or sell the top consistently, not once, not ever. The perfect entry isn't about precision, it's about positioning. It's about entering where the odds have tilted in your favor because the market has shown you its hand. In my years of trading, I developed a simple rule: wait for the line of least resistance. It means waiting for the market to make it easy. When the path forward is clear, momentum builds behind you. But when you force a trade, you're swimming upstream. You'll exhaust yourself fighting noise that never needed to be traded. The first signal of a perfect entry is confirmation through behavior. Watch how price reacts after a breakout. Does it continue smoothly, or does it stutter and return to the level it broke from? When a market moves in your direction and then pauses without retreating, that pause is strength. It's the market gathering energy for the next leg. Entering during that moment of quiet strength is often where the professionals load up, while the amateurs wait for the news to tell them what's already happened. The second signal is volume alignment. Volume is the voice of conviction. When price moves and volume confirms, it's a sign that real money is behind the move. But when price moves and volume fades, it's often a trap. I've seen traders lose fortunes because they mistook silence for support. The market whispers before it roars, and volume is how you listen. The third signal is market rhythm. Every stock, every market, every trend has a rhythm, a pace. When that rhythm changes, it's speaking to you. It tells you when it's resting and when it's ready to move. The perfect entry often appears after rhythm reestablishes itself. The market dips, shakes out weak hands, and then finds stability. That stability, that return to rhythm, is where the perfect entries are born. But here's the part that most traders never understand. Even with all these signals, the entry must feel uncomfortable. If it feels easy, you're too late. The best trades almost always feel wrong at first. They test your resolve. They make you question your timing. That discomfort is the price of admission for profitable positions. When everyone else feels comfortable entering, the move is usually already spent. Trading is not about being right, it's about being disciplined. I've taken thousands of trades in my life, and the only ones I truly regret were the ones I entered without patience. Every major profit I ever made came from waiting for the market to prove me right before I acted. I remember one particular campaign in a leading stock during a roaring bull market. The entire street was buying it on every uptick, but I waited. I watched its action for days. The public was impatient. They wanted movement, but I wanted confirmation. Finally, I saw it a clean break from its consolidation, backed by surging volume, and, most importantly, it refused to give back ground. I entered as it confirmed, pyramided on strength, and rode that move for weeks. The profits were enormous, but what I remember most was the feeling, the calm certainty that comes only when you've waited for the market to show you the way. The irony is, patience is the hardest skill to teach because it feels like doing nothing, but that's where real money is made, in the waiting. The market punishes the restless and rewards the disciplined. Most traders are addicted to action. They think constant trading equals productivity. But trading isn't about activity, it's about accuracy. You don't get paid for effort, you get paid for precision. Waiting doesn't mean idleness. While you wait, you study, you plan. You prepare your position sizing, your stop levels, your potential pyramid points. When the market finally aligns, you act decisively without hesitation, without doubt. The waiting is the work, the entry is the reward. Another truth you must understand: the market gives clues long before the big moves. A perfect entry is rarely a surprise to those who are patient enough to watch the clues form. It's like watching storm clouds gather before a downpour. You don't need to guess when it will rain, you can feel it coming. The tape, the rhythm, the tone of the market all begin to shift before the break. But you'll only notice those shifts if you're calm enough to listen. The danger lies in anticipation. The amateur anticipates, the professional confirms. Anticipation is emotional, confirmation is logical. The amateur sees what he hopes will happen. The professional sees what already is. Remember, the perfect entry is not defined by what you think, it's defined by what the market does. The market doesn't care about your analysis, your hopes, or your timing. It moves according to its own rhythm. Your job is not to control it, your job is to understand it. Sometimes, the perfect entry is no entry at all. There are days, even weeks, when the market gives no clear opportunity. That's when discipline matters most. The temptation to force a trade will whisper to you. You'll feel that itch, that need to do something. But in those moments, you must remember, doing nothing is a position. Standing aside is a position. It's a decision to protect your capital and wait for the next real opportunity. In the long run, the trader who takes 10 perfect trades will outperform the one who takes 100 impulsive ones. The market doesn't pay for frequency, it pays for accuracy. You'll know you've matured as a trader when you stop feeling excited about entering trades and start feeling calm. Excitement is the emotion of the gambler. Calmness is the emotion of the professional. When your entries are methodical, unemotional, and based entirely on what the market has proven, that's when you've found your edge. Let me leave you with this. Every great trade begins with patience and ends with discipline. The perfect entry isn't found in charts or signals, it's found in the quiet conviction that comes from waiting until the market aligns with your judgment. You'll know it when you see it, not because it shouts, but because it fits. It fits the pattern, the rhythm, the behavior, and your plan. It will feel less like a guess and more like an inevitability. The market has infinite opportunities, but your capital is finite. Protect it as you would your life. Wait for the setups that are so clear they almost take the trade for you. When the time comes, act swiftly, decisively, and without hesitation. Until then, do what most can't wait, because in the market, patience isn't just a virtue, it's a strategy. And the trader who masters waiting for the perfect entry point has already won half the battle before the trade even begins.